And lawmakers return to the State House early next week, and one of the first things they'll tackle is how to spend your tax dollars.
Our Capitol Bureau Chief Courtney Ryan is at the State House now to explain what the top priorities are. Courtney?
In just a week, this Capitol will be filled with lawmakers as they look to tackle that next legislative session. And many lawmakers tell me this could be the toughest session yet. And as we learned today, Governor Sam Brownback will lay out the priorities for the state when he delivers the State of the State address next Tuesday. The annual State of the State address lays out the governor's priorities for the state. This year, Governor Brownback is expected to talk about the school finance decision by the Supreme Court and also lay out some items in his budget. In July, Governor Brownback announced he would resign after being nominated to serve in an ambassador role for the Trump administration. However, his nomination process was stalled and will have to start from square one this year.
I think that the governor staying in office would be helpful because he's very seasoned. He's been around for the Gannon decisions. And that is the big issue we're going to have to deal with.
Senate President Susan Wagle says finding a way to pay for K-12 education is the biggest priority this session.
It's going to be, I believe, the most difficult session I've ever served in.
In October, the Supreme Court ruled the state wasn't spending enough money on schools. The districts are asking for an additional $600 million. With many options on the table, like budget cuts elsewhere, Senator Wagle says one option that she won't consider is a tax increase.
My legislators are repulsed at the thought of another tax increase. It's just not going to happen.
On Friday, lawmakers on the Legislative Coordinating Council voted to spend an additional $85,000 to hire 2 experts to conduct a new school finance study.
This is a difficult project if you had plenty of time, but we don't. And so that means that additional experts have to be pulled together as a team to do the work in that shortened time frame.
Top Democrats say instead of putting more money towards new studies, lawmakers need to find solutions.
And I don't think it's necessary. I've always said that the legislative post-audit study that was done several years ago is a good study that we should really try to implement.
And they seem to be able to find money for this kind of avoidance is what we're talking about, instead of putting their shoulder to the wheel and doing what's right for kids in Kansas.
The Supreme Court gave lawmakers an April 30th deadline to have a plan in place for funding. However, the state's Attorney General's office suggests lawmakers have a plan in place by March. Now, the State of the State address is scheduled to take place next Tuesday. That's January 9th at 5 p.m. And of course, we'll have full coverage from the speech. Live at the Capitol, I'm Courtney Ryan.
All right, thank you, Courtney.